Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into something absolutely mind-bending, a metaphysical journey that's going to take us all the way down to the absolute microscopic foundation of reality and then zoom us all the way back out to cosmic divine unity. Along the way, we're going to bridge the hyper-precise mechanical philosophy of the 17th century with the deeply mystical poetry of the 13th century. It's going to be a wild ride. But first, just ponder this fundamental mystery for a second. When you look at the fabric of reality, at yourself, the screen you're watching this on, the stars in the sky, what are you actually seeing? Are you looking at fragments of one single unified substance? Or is the universe built out of an infinite number of completely distinct, independent things? This tension between the one and the many is the core puzzle we're unpacking today. So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover what monads are, the hierarchy of souls, this crazy concept of a windowless universe, the best possible world, Spinoza's single substance, and finally, plurality versus mystical unity. Let's get right into it. Section 1. What are monads? The building blocks of the universe. Okay, so picture the 17th century philosopher Leibniz. He didn't think the universe was made of dead physical atoms. He believed in monads. The word comes from the Greek monos, which just means unit. But these aren't tiny rocks. They are literal, spiritual centers of perception. Basically, think of them as infinite, microscopic little souls. And here is where it gets wild. Monads are simple. And in philosophy, that means they have absolutely zero physical parts. Because they don't have parts, they are completely immaterial and indivisible. You can't break them down. And because you can't break them down, they're indestructible. Literally impossible to destroy unless God specifically wills it. That means every stone, every tree, every animal, and yes, you and me, we are all built out of millions of these living, immortal spiritual centers. How crazy is that? Moving on to section 2, the hierarchy of souls, climbing the ladder of consciousness. Now, you're probably wondering, if absolutely everything is made of the exact same monads, why are we so totally different from a rock? Well, Leibniz argued there's a strict hierarchy at play. Down at the very bottom, you have lower monads. These make up things like stones, and they just have a very murky, vague perception of reality. Next up are plant monads, which possess basic life. Then animal monads, which get a major upgrade with feeling and memory. Above that, human souls. That's us, capable of reason, self-awareness, and complex thought. And finally, sitting at the very top of this ladder is God, the ultimate, perfect, infinite monad, and the absolute source of all the others. All right, section 3, the windowless universe. How do independent souls interact? This right here brings us to Leibniz's most famous and honestly most bizarre declaration. He said, monads have no windows. Literally, nothing looks out, nothing gets in. No single monad can ever, under any circumstance, directly affect another one. So if you kick a stone, your foot's monads aren't actually touching the stone's monads. They are 100% closed off in their own little worlds. So wait, if they don't touch, how does anything actually happen? How do they even appear to interact? Leibniz's answer is pre-established harmony. He argued that because God is the perfect creator at the top, he basically programmed all these billions of windowless monads at the very dawn of creation to perfectly sync up. They never directly interact. They just execute their pre-programmed code at the exact right millisecond. It's like the ultimate cosmic choreography. To really wrap our heads around this, let's think about the classic mind-body problem. René Descartes, right? He believed your mind and your physical body directly affect each other. You think about raising your hand, your body responds. Simple. But Leibniz says, nope, zero direct interaction. And to explain this, he uses this brilliant analogy of two perfectly precise clocks. Imagine two flawless clocks set by a master clockmaker. They are always going to show the exact same time, down to the millisecond. They never touch, they never communicate, but they are perfectly in sync. To Leibniz, your mind and your body are just two clocks set by God, ticking away in pre-established harmony. Section 4. The best possible world. Finding meaning in the grand design. Because of this incredible synchronized design, Leibniz argued that before creation, God, being that ultimate perfect monad, looked at an infinite number of possible universes. And since God is perfect, he obviously chose to actualize the best possible world, the one with the most harmonious configuration. Now, what does that mean for us? It means that even flaws, even suffering, have a totally necessary place in this grand clockwork. Actually, a funny side note here. The philosopher Voltaire thought this idea was so ridiculous that he wrote an entire satirical novel, Candide, literally just to make fun of it. But for Leibniz, everything is exactly as it must be to maintain that ultimate harmony.
Okay, Section 5, Spinoza's single substance, a totally different metaphysical machine.
Now, to put this all into perspective, we have to look at another major thinker, Baruch Spinoza. These two thinkers could not be more opposed. For Spinoza, reality is just one single substance. That's it. It's God or nature. Everything we see is just a manifestation of that one single thing. The universe is completely unified, and God literally is nature. But Leibniz, total opposite. He argues for infinite independent substances, the monads. Every being is an independent unit. The universe is endlessly fractured into these units, and God sits above them as a creator. So Spinoza sees a solid, unified block. Leibniz sees an infinitely shattered mosaic of independent units. Which brings us to our final part, Section 6, Plurality versus Mystical Unity, Two Visions of Divine Order. Now, there is absolutely no historical connection between Leibniz and the 13th century Persian mystic poet Rumi, but placing them side by side answers our ultimate question for this explainer. Both of these brilliant minds firmly believed in a perfect divine order to the universe, for sure, but they lived in entirely different spiritual paradigms. Let's break it down. Leibniz gives us harmonious plurality. He sees the universe as this grand, intricate orchestra. You have billions of distinct, completely separate musicians, all playing their own independent instruments in perfect sync, all thanks to the conductor. But Rumi looks at that exact same universe and sees unity within plurality. In Rumi's mystical poetry, the multiplicity of the world, this feeling we have that we are all separate, independent beings, it's actually just an illusion. To him, our separation is a veil. At the very heart of all this plurality is a single divine unity, and all of existence is really just trying to return home to that one divine source. So I want to leave you with this. When you walk outside today and look around, which paradigm rings true for you? Are you seeing Leibniz's pluralism, an incredibly precise, harmonized collection of distinct souls ticking away like perfect little clocks? Or do you see Rumi's mystical unity, a single divine truth hiding just beneath the temporary veil of the physical world? Really think about it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning everything, and I'll see you in the next one.